But if you're looking for countries that really do influence American politics, there are quite a few. Anyone who lives in D.C. can tell you that. Russia does not make the list. Mexico definitely does. At the beginning of the past presidential election cycle, for example, Mexico began what Bloomberg News described as an unprecedented effort to get American citizenship for its permanent residents living here in the U.S. The point was obvious, of course, to make them voters so they could vote to defeat Donald Trump. Russia never even considered election hacking that bold. Mexico did, and there's more. Marcelo Ebrard is Mexico's current foreign minister. From 2006 to 2012, he was the mayor of Mexico City. He's a very famous man in that country. But between those two jobs, he was here in the U.S. What was he doing? Well, he was working on behalf of the Democratic Party. He urged Latino voters in Spanish to turn out to vote for Hillary Clinton. He then compared Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler, subtlety not being one of his strong suits. Imagine if the Russians did something like that. Put a friend of Vladimir Putin, say the former mayor of Moscow, into the U.S. to spend an entire election cycle recording pro-Trump ads. How would that work? Well, it's unthinkable. He'd probably be arrested. And yet a top Mexican politician did exactly that, and nobody cared. Why? Because it helped Hillary Clinton. This kind of thing has gone on for years here. And anyone who lives in D.C., again, can tell you it goes on even today. Here's another example. Juan Hernandez. He's appeared as a guest on this show more than once. He led President Vicente Fox's Office for Mexicans Abroad. How did he describe his job? This way, quote, "I want to get the third generation, the seventh generation in the U.S. I want them all to think Mexico first." Hernandez argued that Mexican immigrants to the U.S. are always, quote, going to keep one foot in Mexico and will never fully assimilate. This isn't just an idle hope on Mexico's part. They're working to make it come true. The Mexican government understands that if immigrants to the U.S. start speaking English, they will assimilate much more quickly into American culture, and they don't want that. The Mexican government now says it will spend $150 million on a campaign to help convince Mexicans living here in our country to keep speaking Spanish. Haven't heard about that on CNN? Huh. Well, there's more. Mexico has helped its citizens to break our federal laws. It's done that for years. The Mexican government published a pamphlet advising migrants on how to sneak into our country. The Mexican consulate in San Francisco distributed its 10 golden rules for the immigrants in the U.S. That paper instructed illegal aliens on how to avoid arrest and deportation. The Mexican government has paid lawyers to clog our courts in deportation cases. We could go on and on and on. The point is, that's what it looks like when a hostile foreign power interferes in your democracy. They don't buy Facebook ads that nobody sees. Why would they? They try to change the demographics of your country. That works.